Happy Monday, everybody. Hope your Monday's going good. We got sunshine, but it's cold. My feet were cold today out in the shop, so I had to kick on the heater an extra one time for 5 minutes, but that wasn't bad. So, okay, I'm excited. After 20 years, over 20 years of toy building, I'm still excited. I was excited. Couldn't wait to get out in the shop this morning and start crunching some numbers on the plow. So I made a little bit of progress. And I didn't really, been a long time since I built a plow. And like I said, it was small. It was a smaller plow. But a lot of the same parts are there. That's all one piece, the shin and the moldboard and the plow shear. That was all three pieces are on that one. But on this one here, they're all going to be separate pieces to give it more detail. And I'm actually going to have the little holes drilled in where the reset bolts go in there too, so to give it a little bit more look. So what I came up with was just a couple quick sketches, and that's all it usually takes me to get going. So it's nothing, no elaborate CAD drawing on the internet or nothing on the computer or nothing. It's just something as simple as getting the measurements off of this plow and then doubling it and doubling it again to get my quarter scale. And what it came out to is 4 inches high and 5 3/4 long. And that was just basically, and then the plow shin was 4 inches by 2 inches. And then the plow shear was 5 inches long by 1 inch. And that's what I started doing. So there's nothing fancy. And then I just kind of did a quick little sketch here of the main frame and where that pivot point's going to go. And here's the main frame cut, and I got the holes marked where all the bolts are going to go to hold the plow frame bottoms there. And so just to give you an idea, let's go down to this. Let's go down to the bench real quick, and I'm going to show you. I actually got the mold boards down here. You can see the mold boards. There's 4 of them right here. So I several weeks ago I showed on one of the videos how I duplicate several parts that have to be exactly the same. And as you can see, I did a rough cut on my little hand shear to get them really close. But if you look up close, you can see that they're not perfect. You can see that there's some of them are over a 1/16 of an inch off. And so when you want to duplicate them to be exactly the same, what I do is I clamp them together, and it goes pretty fast. So I'll show you real quick. Right there, you can see how it's sanded them all down exactly the same curve. So now what I'll do is I'll flip this clamp around so I can get around to this corner. You got to have a couple of them holding it, otherwise it might flip out. So I'll turn it upside down, and then you can see how far off one of those are. And even down here, you can see how it's a lot. Sometimes most of them are about as far as a 1/16 of an inch off, but this goes pretty fast. So now I'll flip it upside down. And there's the second side. You can see how smooth that is. Then there's the bottom. And now I'll flip this around one more time, the clamps, so I can get around to this sharper curve. Now flip this one around so I can get to this surface here, the bottom. Okay, so now I'll do this one and I'll do this one. It goes pretty fast, really, considering what it's doing. That pretty much duplicated them all. You can see it's now it looks all perfectly smooth on all 4 of them. So now what you have to do, they stick together. Now what you have to do is you have to take each one and you have to sand the edges. So let me do that real quick. Every time you sand on something, it leaves a burr on one side. The side you're sanding on is smooth, but then you have to be sure to flip it over and get that burr off the other side. Otherwise it won't lay flat. So, okay, so now I got 4 mold boards that are exactly the same. So I'm going to, let's see, I'll put those there. And this one there, and this one there, and this one there. Okay, so now the second thing I did was I built the shins, the plow shin, and that goes in front. That's the piece that goes in the front there, like this. And then I built the plow share, and the plow share goes down here. You can kind of see it right there. So them are the 3 pieces, and that's the scale. That's the quarter scale, how the plow bottom's the size it's going to be. I think it's awesome. And so the next step is to make 5 of these, which I did. So I got 5 of the plow shares, or 4. There's another one over here. And then make 5 of these shims. And I got 5 of those made. 1 over there. And then I got the plow support frame that goes on here. And because there's 2 sides to it and 5 bottoms, I have to make 10 of these. I have not made these yet. Not 10 of them. I just made I made 2 pairs. So eventually they'll go down kind of down on the frame, and then this piece here bolts into here, and then the plow bottom bolts into this piece right here. So, and then there's another piece here that that attaches to the back of the mold board that goes on to the bottom of this. There's 2 of those, so 4 of those. So I got to make 10 of those and 10 of these, and so there's a lot of things to be made. But the hard part was just kind of figuring out how the measurements are going to make this to the right scale, and I did it. I thought today I might not get a lot done because I'm just gonna maybe toying around with just trying to figure out how to do this, but it all worked out, and sometimes I surprise myself, and I really like how it looks. So I'm going to give you an idea. I'm going to show you here what the very first one looks like. That's awesome. I think it's awesome. So there's the plowshare, and there's the shin, and there's the moldboard, and so it would have been easy just to make it into one piece, but I kind of, when I'm done, I'll take my little grinder, and I'll actually grind that little knot, just a little bit of a knot, so you can see they're separate pieces, and that'll make it look more realistic. So then here's the main frame, and then on the back is these parts that I just showed you here. It's going to go like there, and then this one goes into the bottom of this frame, goes down to here. And that hooks onto there. That hooks onto the back of the plow. So there's a lot to it, and I'm very happy how it's turned out. I'm just surprised everything went so good. I didn't think I was going to be able to really get this far along on the design of the plow. So I'm very happy. So if you can see the moldboard, you can see it has a curve in it, but these haven't been bent yet. So these will go in my little handbrake, and I'll put that same curve in it. You can see the difference here where it's straight and curved. There's not a lot of curve in a plow, but there is some. So those will get bent, and even the plowshare, you can see it's not flat. It's got a curve to it. So these all have to be bent yet. And then the shins are straight, so they have to be bent too. So they all have to be bent exactly the same and clamped together, so they're all exactly the same curve on them, so they all match up. And I think that, see, tomorrow what I'll have to do is go back to working on all these parts right here, and I'll have to go through and make. So there's two here that I made on each side, and then 2 here, so there's 4. So I still have to make 6 more of those, and then the shins. I got all 5 of those made, and I got the moldboards all made. They just have to be bent, and the plowshares are all made. They just have to be bent. So really, I got quite a bit done today. So if I can get these done tomorrow, and all these extra pieces that got to go here, then I got to make a bunch more of these. And if I can kind of get, I don't know, my goal maybe tomorrow would be to get all five bottoms looking like this. That'd be very cool to get that far along. But maybe that'll be my goal for tomorrow. No, it's not. I changed my mind, because I thought I was gonna tomorrow afternoon take and sand some of these rims and start priming on them. I want to work on this a little bit, a couple hours every day. So I was going to do the rims. I was going to prime the rims tomorrow, and then the next day I was going to take the fenders off and do the final sanding on those, and the final sanding on all the knobs here. So the next day I'd do the 2 fenders. Then the next day I want to start sanding all this stuff here, and then maybe get everything from the steering wheel back and get that primed, and then I'll work my way forward. So that I don't want to, and then once I get going here, then now for the first time since I put this emblem on the side, I can send Nicole some of the details that I'm going to need. So now everything's the size it's going to be. So I'll have to sit down either tonight, maybe, or tomorrow, and we'll and then I'll have her write down the EJ Potter, the Michigan Madman decals too. So when I get the next bunch of decals, I'll get them for and even the plow. You can see the plow has a John Deere and a 145H on it, and those would be, just out of curiosity, that decal is 1/8 inch, so quarter. So those decals would be 1/2 inch tall on the plow. And this one here, the 4020, the 4020 diesel, that is 1/4 inch, so half. So those would be 1 inch. Those decals would be 1 inch tall right there. And on this emblem here, the decals are pretty small. They're about a 1/16, so 1/8, so that would be 1/4. So they'd be 1/4 inch in tall. So they're all different. So I would imagine the 60/30 would be pretty dang close to that. So anyway, we'll kind of work on the decals too. So anyway, today was day 1 on the plow. So let me hold it up one more time and hold up the moldboard. So this is how it looks when you first start. There's a long ways to go, but this is going to be cool. I held the plow up behind the tractor, and that looks like it's going to be perfect scale once it's all done. So, okay, thanks again, everybody. Just letting you know, I'm getting 100 new subscribers every day, and that's awesome. And it just, somebody's liking something that we're doing, and I appreciate that. And if you're in the 100, that we got yesterday, and you have missed some of the segments the videos the step-by-step videos, here's my blog, and it's doncampbellmaker.com, and it's all the steps to build this 4020, and all the ones that built the D9, and all the ones that I built the tile machine. It's all there on the blog. So, and there's also other tips to kind of give you an idea how you guys can get kind of started on your own projects. And I don't expect you to do the ones with like 1,000 or 2,000 different pieces on it, but maybe it just gives you an idea how I work with this. And it's 18 gauge sheet metal, and I tried the 22 gauge, and that was too thin. It just burned through. And I do a lot of the welding. I do a lot of bolting, but I do a lot of welding too. And the 18 gauge is the best. Like you can't weld a bead. I just tack weld everything. So don't think for a minute that you can build this and weld everything, because it's pretty touchy. It's pretty touchy welding this stuff. And I'm still getting people wanting to come to our house and take a tour, and they all want to see all the models that I made. Well, we don't have any models. They're all in private collectors' collections. And from when I started building models back in 1997, my models are all sold shortly after they were all built, and that's how it's been ever since. I never caught up, and so we don't have a collection. Most of my models, the biggest collection of my models is in Carthage, North Carolina, at a place called Etterville, and it's at a private steam engine. It's on the grounds, and there's a museum there. And I think roughly 30 of my largest, the biggest models I ever built, they're all there. The big silver spade, the train, the big D11R dozer, all the mining shovels are there, and a lot of the smaller dozers and the other shovels. So big excavators there, Big Mac trucks there. So there's a lot of them at that. But there's none here. So if you came here, there wouldn't be no toys to see. So, and because of COVID, we just can't have people coming anyway. So just to remind you, especially if you're a new subscriber, that we're trying to show everything right on the internet, so we don't have to worry about that kind of interacting in person, because there's so much going on right now. It's just scary. And Deb and I are at that high risk age, and we know several people that have passed away, and they were our age, and so that's pretty scary to us. So anyway, thanks again. And tomorrow night, if everything goes good, I'll be juggling five of these all at once. So that's very cool. So thanks again, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great Monday night. See ya.